but we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there.
President Trump holding back details on any potential ceasefire deals between Russia and Ukraine. Our Atra El-Nashar kicks off our coverage right now. And Atra, coming out of this meeting, Trump said there was great progress. You heard his comments, but, quote, there's no deal until there's a deal. Does it appear anyone's mindset has changed? I know it's premature, but I'm curious what struck out to you with both leaders' comments today.
Right, Dee Dee. What really struck me was the friendliness between the two leaders, given what led up to the day, right? You know, what I kept saying from the second that Putin landed in Anchorage was, if you did not know who these leaders were, you'd have thought they were allies. Lots of smiling, lots of handshakes, and I thought perhaps we might see an icier interaction between the two after they met and sat down and really hashed out their differences. But if anything, they were chummier than when the day started, which is remarkable given what led up to today. You know, Putin acknowledged that U.S.-Russia relations had really reached their lowest point since the Cold War. And Trump in recent weeks has expressed such frustration with Putin that he's used expletives that I will not repeat here when talking about how misleading Putin has been during Trump's talks with him, attempts to negotiate peace, right? He's talked about these wonderful phone calls with Putin, then he'll go talk to the First Lady about it, and she'll say, well, I just saw a civilian nursing home being bombed in Ukraine. And, you know, Trump used Putin's first name. He called him Vladimir several times. But what's also really important here is the lack of specifics. Even in an interview that Trump did immediately after this summit, was he was talking about you know, how there were things that they agreed on, things that they didn't, and he was pressed on, well, what are those? And Trump said, I'm not ready to go public on that yet. So we just don't know what went on in that room, at least not right now. And of course, as reporters, we want to be able to ask these leaders questions. And that did not happen.
It was very uncharacteristic, right? And I agree with you that the body language, I mean, it takes on new meaning, significance, especially on a world stage. Just 2 days ago, the president said there would be severe consequences for Russia if Putin didn't agree to peace after today. He also threatened secondary sanctions. He just made new comments about that. What are his plans?
Well, he said that that he doesn't really have to think about those punishments right now, because in his eyes, the meeting went so well that he thinks it'll be something he'll have to address maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. And that really takes the urgency away for Putin to have to, you know, really make a decision here about either facing what should be brutal economic punishments in the form of secondary sanctions of the countries that buy its oil and gas, or stop the war. Trump said that that's something he'll think about in a couple of weeks. Another instance of him, you know, sort of kicking the can down the road when it comes to punishing Russia. Yeah,
and we'll just have to wait and see. And the question now is, does this set the stage for a meeting with President Zelenskyy? That is the question. Atra El-Nashar reporting tonight. Thank you.